Okay, good day everyone. Welcome to another episode of Build Your Portfolio with me. Today we are moving on to do a very important project. And this project might be in two parts or three parts because we are literally practicing all the processes of data analysis. So all you just need to do is just sit back and relax while you enjoy the video. Let me reiterate on the importance of build your portfolio with me, which is to deepen your understanding and your skills in data analysis. So before you continue with this video, like and subscribe and also replicate this video. So let's start. So what's the business problem today? We are given a project or we are given a data set containing food poisoning. Basically, it's just how to the difference between all the high food poisoning happening in developing countries compared to low food poisoning rates in developed country. So what are the recommendations? What are they doing differently that make them have low rate of food poisoning? Basically, we are just trying to find the root causes of food, the high incidence of food poisoning in developing countries. Basically, that's um, the problem of this business and of this data set. So now let's look at the data set and let's look at what it entails. So the first thing is I click on it and I would join this project or I would attach this data set to this video below, and also it will be sent on the group. So today, the first thing as a data analyst is you have to get your data. So this data is quite large, so we'll be using another method to get our data today. So I just want to show us what the data looks like because we'll be loading this data set in different style today. Let me just click on it, which is our conventional way of loading data sets. So today we would just look at it so we just understand what it looks like and how it looks like. So sorry, just permit me. Let me select everything here. So the data set is around, so to actually know how large your data set is, let me increase it for those of us that will be using our phone. So to know how large this data set is, you can just press on your control, can hold on to your control and your down arrow key. Let me press my down arrow key. Oh, what's happening? Okay. So we have almost 20,000 rows, so which is pretty large for some laptop. So we'll be using to bypass the lagging process. So we'll be using another method to load this data set. So we can actually let's look at the data set. Let's look at the column header. We have the country, we have the income. So to actually see this at a glance, you can just click on this drop down or this triangle facing downward facing triangle and just double click on the border line between two columns. So we can see everything at a glance now. So we have our country, we have the income group, maybe they are developed country or maybe they are on the developing country. Then we have the year, the trend of the year. We have the population, we have the food poisoning cases, then we have the death count, hospitalization, we have the water access percentage, we have the sanitation percentage. Basically, just to know what's the death count here, how many deaths has occurred due to this food poisoning, how many hospitalization has occurred or has been recorded due to food poisoning. Also, how accessible is clean water? How high is their hygiene? Then how safe is their food? Then what are the main pathogens causing this food poisoning? And what are the food sources that these people have been eating? So now let's continue. So the first thing we want to do here is let's load it in the let me see. Okay, so the next thing is I just want to open my Excel here. My normal Excel, so I'll be opening my Excel. So I want to click on my blank workbook here. So yeah, you can see we have a blank Excel workbook here. So the first thing is because why I'm doing this is because there are some of us that have a lower specification of laptop and loading 20,000 rows of data might cause lagging of our laptop. So we have to consider people like that. So we want to go to our data. Then I already know this data set is Excel workbook. So you have to know the file, the data file, your dataset file. So I already know it is workbook, Excel workbook. But if it is text or CSV, you want to click on this button. So I'll click on this data. Remember, it is a workbook. So I'll click on this file, then click on Excel workbook. So it will show me, okay, what are the Excel workbook that I have in my on my computer. I already know it is on my desktop. So that's where I kept it. So I can see Exeter Hub food poisoning here. So I'll just double click on this. Then remember, I went to my data, then I click on get data, then I click on get the notebook. So we can see it leads me to this particular page, which is what we call Power Query. But before then, we can't see anything here. So it is showing me what we have here is just like we have Exeter Hub food poisoning. It is an Excel file, and you can see there is just a sheet there. So you want to click on this sheet, and then you can easily see the preview here. So actually there is not much data cleaning going on here, but we remember we are doing the 5 process of data analysis, which are getting our data, which is what we are doing currently. We are getting our data from our desktop, we are loading it into Power Query. So the next thing is the next process of data analysis is what? Transformation of data or data cleaning. So you want to click on transformation of data just to know how clean your data sets are or how clean your data set is. So the first thing is we look at this and we can see, do we have any error? Do you have anything to clean? So in case you don't have this thing in your own laptop, so you can just go to your view and just check your column quality and column distribution. You'll be able to see stuff like this. You should be able to see this graph and the valid error and empty percentage. So we can see here we have our valid error and empty. So sometimes they might be wrong. So you want to cross check and click on this drop down. So we have Australia and Bangladesh. So we want to click on load more. Then you can see we have the everything looks quite correct. Everything looks quite clean. So you want to click on OK. So let's look at the income group. So we have develop and developing. Let's click on this one. So we have develop plus B19 whatever. So now let's try to look at it. So I can just check only this one. How many rows do we have this one? So it's just one. So once I click on this, I can just Control C. I can just copy it here. Then let's try to remove the filter. Select all. Then click on OK. So we can click on the column header here. Go to my home. What are we trying to do? We are trying to replace where we have developed plus stuff with some special character. We are trying to just remove those special character and leave the develop. So just that we are cleaning it. So we want to replace it basically. So we will look at it. Where can we see a replace button here? So we actually have our replace value here. We also have it in transform value. In transform tab, we have our replace value. You can use any one. So let's just use the one under our transform. So what are we finding? I've already copied the value the other time. So I'll just click on Ctrl V, pasting it. So what do I want to change it with? I want to change it with developed. So I'll just click on developed. Then I can just say match entire cell contents. I click on my advanced function, then I click on match entire cell contents, then I click on OK. So if I click on this drop down now and I click on load more, then I can see everything has been corrected. Okay, which is good. So I can already see the what I did now. It has replaced the value and which is basically a row has been filtered. So we have here, let's look at the trend of our year. We can see we have 2015 to 2025. So when I load more, nothing changes. Okay, what about this population? Actually, to not to waste a lot of time, as we have done a lot of data cleaning in the last video, we did a lot of data cleaning in the last video. So you may want to check that out. So let's just let's just load this data set. It is pretty clean. You can cross check it. Just go to each column and check if you have anything to correct there. So we want to click on close and load. So it will load into your data set, into your Excel. So now we have our 20,000 rows loaded. Remember, we not do anything inside our Excel for now. So the next thing is we want to make sense. We want to proceed to the next process of data analysis, which is what analyzing the data, which is data analysis. Remember, we started from gather and getting the data, then transformation of the data, which is pretty easy in this case, but sometimes data can be very, very dirty. So another thing as a data analyst is that you are not just visualizing, you are not just doing all of this complex thing, or you're not just doing this visual appealing stuff. It is imperative that you make your data readable. So you can see we have population, but then this population is not readable because I don't know if this is in million, in billion, or in trillion. So you want to add a comma so that it can just be readable. So you can just click on this colon header, go to your home, add a comma, then you can just remove, you can make this a whole number by removing the decimal points. So let me increase it so we can see it better. So we can just do that. So let's look at this one. You can also do the same for this one. And I don't think we have thousand anymore. So it's just a minor thing which is very, very important. So you should know that you must make your data readable. So the next thing where we are moving on to is the um, what do we call it? Analysis of data. So I want my data sets here. I want to analyze my data set here. So I can just say analysis. This is where I want to carry out my analysis. So okay, let's make this colorful. Let's make it let's color it this color, this beautiful color. So you can see we have our blue color here. Okay, it's not that beautiful there. Let's make it this bright color. So you can see we have our yellow analysis for yellow. So okay, so the first thing is we have to analyze our data set. It has to be done using pivot table. So how do we get our pivot table? You just want to click on this cell, any of this cell, then go to your insert. Um, okay, so you want to click on your insert, click on this pivot table. So I already have a sheet already. So I'll click on existing worksheet. So it is asking for the location. So you just want to click on this upward facing arrow, then click on your analysis here. Then I want my pivot table to start from this row 3. So we can just click on this drop down, then click on OK. So I can already see my pivot table here. So that's the next step of data analysis. So the first thing is we want to look at the relationship of these data sets here. So we want to start with, we already have our column header listed here. So we want to start with country. So we want to drag our country to rows. We want to know what is the prevalence of food poisoning in different country. So we want to start with country, then we want to look at income group. Is just like, okay, before that one, sorry, let's try to drag this country. We want to give it a number just to know, okay, how many Australia has recorded 539 um food poisoning cases since 2015 till 2025. So we just want to know the prevalence. So this shows the prevalence of food poisoning in that particular in this country. So we want to write something like prevalence of food poisoning. So we can see we have prevalence of food poisoning here. So okay, this is good. This is good. But then remember, we have two types of country. We have some developed country and some undeveloped country. So there's something we call filter. So this income group, looking at our income group here, we have, I can just click on this drop down. You can see we have developed country and developing country. So we know that some of this country, they are developing. So I can just drag this income group to filter. Just that I don't want to see all of this country. I want to see the one that are developing, the developing countries. I want to see the developed country. So I can just click on this drop down here, click on select multiple item. So I want to deselect all. So now let's look at this developed country. Let's look at the trend, the prevalence of food poisoning in developed countries. So I click on OK. So I can see most of them are 539. They are below 1,000. Yes, all of them are below 1,000, which is good. Now let's click on this drop down and let's look at developing countries. So I want to check off this one. I can click on OK and I can see, okay, developing countries seems to have higher prevalence of food poisoning in their recorded in their country. So we want to look at what are the root causes. Why are they having a lot of food poisoning causes? So we can see now the first thing we notice that most of the developed country recorded less food poisoning cases. So probably, so let's just continue. So that's the first one. We've used this country. Now I want to look at this the year trend. The year trend. How has it been in both sides? Has it been good for has it been has there has any measure been put in place to actually stop this food poisoning since 2015? Has it been increasing? Has it been declining? We just want to look at the yearly trend of food poisoning in developed country and also in developing country. So I can just copy my pivot table here, then paste it somewhere around here, somewhere around here. So I actually like to add one free space here, so I can just insert. I have my full space. So this one is supposed to be here. So let me add one more free space. So this is just to tidy my work. So I can, okay. Okay, so we have this. So the next thing is we want to look at the yearly trend. To actually look at the yearly trend, I can check off this, check off this. So we want to look at the yearly trend. So I will drag off this, I will drag this here to my rows. Then I will drag my year to my values. So we have this. Okay, you can just highlight on this one. You can highlight these cells, click on your home, then add a comma, then reduce make it a whole number. So remember, we are trying to compare developing country and developed country. So we want to do something like that. So we want to put this in the filter so that we can just see the values pertaining to or specific to developing country and the values specific to what developing country. So you want to click on this filter button, then click on okay, this for developing country only. Click on okay. So these are the value for developing country only. So now let's look at the trend. So we have 2.9 in 2015. In 2025 we have 2.7. So in 2016 it has been 2.9, 2.7, 2.8. Okay, the values has not been decreasing or has not been increasing that much. It has just been almost constant, right? So that means no measures has been put in place, and there is almost 2 million, almost 3 million cases every year since 2015. So how can we solve this? How can we put an end to food poisoning happening in developing? Then we want to click on this one, then check off this one, click on developed country, then click on OK. So let's look at this one. Let's look at the trend here. We have 2.6, 2015, we have 2.6 million cases recorded. Then 2025, we have 431,000. That means there has been some measure that has been put in place to drastically reduce the recorded case of food poisoning, or to reduce food poisoning cases in developed country. So what have they been doing differently, which is what we are trying to analyze here. So we already see that the yearly trend also favor developed country. The number of cases have dwindled from 2015 to 2025. So we already have that again. So now let's move to the next part. So we just want to copy this one. Control C. Let's do another one here. Control V. So let's look at what else can we look at? We have our population. Population is really not needed in this particular food poisoning. So it really doesn't really matter, or does it? I don't think so, because I really don't think so. So you can just, I mean, it's analysis work. You can just look at it. Now let's look at the food poisoning cases. Let's look at I mean, it's obvious that developing country we have higher food poisoning case, but we can just check. You can just fact check that. So let's look at the um, country. Then we want to look at food poisoning case. Let's put that there. So in developed country, okay, I'm seeing Nigeria developed country. We have 423. Then when I click on developing country, so I have Nigeria also. So that means this data is not clean very well. There's one thing missing. Obviously, we expect Nigeria to be a developing country. So we want to change, we want to check where Nigeria is developing country. To do this, we'll do something like this. Select all. So I want to check, I'm only looking for developed. So I want to add another filter here also. Select, I will deselect all, then I will only check Nigeria. So I can see we have Nigeria, it's just one, so it's probably it's a mistake. So I want to change this one to what? To developing. Enter. So we can go back to our analysis page now. Then go to our data page, then we can refresh it. So if I click on this filter button, click on this developed now. So let's see if we can still have Nigeria there. So it has gone. So that means the data has been cleaned. So we have almost 215 below 500,000 case for developed country. Let's look at developing country. So we have millions. Wow. We have 5 million. We have about 5 million case in developing um, developing countries. So which is something has to be done. Something has to be done. So we want to copy this one again, Control C. So let's move on to, we are just trying to find the root cause of these problems. So we have let's look at how many deaths has happened due to food poisoning. So I'll just check off this one, then check in my death counts. So I can see for developing country, we have about 200,000 death cases in all developing countries. So I just want to check off, I want to check developing country off and developed country. Let's look at the trend. So we have almost 5,000 deaths that has been recorded so far in developed country. And imagine in developing country we have about 200,000 deaths that has been recorded so far, which is a lot. Something has to be done to curb or to immediately put an end to these cases. So almost 200,000, and that's a lot. Okay, so now let's click on that. Remember, you have to like add why you are trying to do this one. You are trying to look at yearly trend. Sorry, I forgot to add that. Yearly trend of food poisoning case. So this one, what did we do here? We look at the food poisoning. So I'll just write food poisoning here. So you can just, when you're looking at this, you should, I'm trying to write food poisoning. Oh, what's happening? Sorry, food poisoning. So this one, we are trying to look at deaths recorded as a result. Okay, so we're almost there. Let's continue. So I can just remove my filter, clear filter here. Also, I can clear my filter also. So we have our full data set again. So what's the next thing? We've already seen the trend of death count. Okay, let's look at hospitalization, water access, almost the same thing. So let's just look at that. So I can just copy this. I can copy this, then put this one, Control V here. Okay, it's not, I don't know what's happening. Control C. So this, instead of deaths, this one would be, we are looking at hospitalization. How many people has been hospitalized as a result of food poisoning? So in developing countries, we have about 1 million cases so far from 2015. So let's look at developed. We have about 60,000 people. I mean, I'm using the highest, then I'm rounding it up. So we have about 60,000 people that have been hospitalized since inception. So we want to look at hospitalized. Hospitalization. So we can just copy this again. And let's look at water access. So it majorly look like the same thing. Developed, we are seeing they have almost 51,000, about 100,000 water access. So in developing, let's look at the trend. Okay, that means they don't really have access to water. Look at this. We have in developed country, the average of each country is about 50,000, except UK, right? It's about 50,000. But look at developing country. The average access to water is about I don't know, it's below 50,000. Probably this might be one of the factor that causes food poisoning, probably maybe due to lack of access to water. So maybe clean water. You can't decide yet, but yeah, it's probably among the factors. So we just say access. I mean, you can use a better heading. So want to see. Also, you can separate this into two-page. This analysis, you can separate it into two-page. So let's move on. From this water access, we want to look at the sanitation access. How clean is our environment? So in developing country, they are averaging about 22,000, 25,000. What about developed country? As a man with bias, I expect developed country to have higher sanitation. So we can see the data doesn't lie. We also have higher sanitation for developing countries, except UK also. Okay. Now we have two factors at the end, at the back of our hands. So lack of access to water, lack of lack of sanitation, or poor sanitation. So to make it the grammar proper, so you can say poor sanitation. So now let's look at the next one. We want to look at the food safety index. I want to check this off, then let's look at the food safety index. So for developed country, they are averaging about 45, 9,000, 6,000. What about in undeveloped country? Or sorry, in developing country? Okay, they're averaging about 6,000, which is quite low. So that means they don't even have good food. Or safe food, not good food, sorry. they not have safe food, probably due to a lot of factors like lack of poor hygiene or poor sanitation, lack of access to clean water. I mean, it's from the data, and we are making decision from the data. We can see because of those things, the food they are consuming, it is the food is not safe for consumption. And you know, the major food poisoning happen due to food not being safe. Now we can see that most of these food are not safe, maybe due to, or from this data we can decide, or we can reach a conclusion that most of them are due to poor sanitation and lack of access to water. So we want to let's copy this one. We are not done, so we cannot say okay, this is what we got from this data. So now let's look at the last column. Okay, sorry, second to the last column. Let's look at the main pathogen. So I want to remove my country now. I want to look how prevalent um, are this pathogen which causes food poisoning. So we have almost everything are almost the same. We have Campylobacter, we have Escherichia coli, we have norovirus, we have Salmonella. So we have almost all of this. So to reduce this thing, now one of the recommendation is food must be screened for um, this microorganism. They must not be found. They must not be found in any food for the food to be regarded as safe for consumption. So also, um, food should be properly cooked. There are some heat can kill some of these what do they call it? I think they are fungi. I don't know. Don't quote me. They are microorganisms. They are not fungi. Sorry, they are microorganisms. I think heat can kill some of them. Yeah, high heat, extreme high heat can kill some of them. So let's continue. So food should be properly cooked. Remember, using this data set, I'm making some recommendation, I'm making decision, I'm making conclusion. So that's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be, because analysis, while you are doing analysis, you are supposed to reach conclusion, you are supposed to reach this, you are supposed to make a decision and reach a conclusion, and also provide some recommendations for the business problem. So now I want to look at the food sources. So what's under our food sources? Okay, food sources here. I can just drag this one there. So we have developing countries. Most of the, let's just, we can sort this one from largest to smallest. And you can see most of the food poisoning are caused by eating street food. So we can see we have street food, then meat. Probably the meat is not well cooked. Then we have vegetable, then we have dairy products, then we have seafood. So what about developed country? Surprisingly, most of the food poisoning are caused by vegetable in developed country. So to even further reduce food poisoning cases in in developed country, vegetables should be semi-cooked or should be properly washed. So all these microorganisms would be washed off them, or they should be properly stored, maybe in freezer at minus Celsius, at negative Celsius or negative temperature, just that to kill this microorganism. So you can see I'm making recommendation, I'm making decision just of this analysis. So we are done with the analysis part. Now we are done with the third part of data analysis. What's the fourth part, which is visualization? So we'll move on to the visualization. So now the first thing you have to do is you have to create your wireframe, and we can't create a wireframe without having a drawing board. So we have to remove all these grid lines and all these formula bar and this column header and the row lines, just that we can have a drawing board for our dashboard. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your view, then check off these headings, check off your grid lines, check off your formula bar. Then you want to go to this drop down and click on full screen mode. So you can see we already have our dashboard here, or our drawing board here, which is very, very spacious and clean. So the next thing is we want to do our dashboard now. So we can just click on insert. So this is basically how good you are. It is how creative you are. There is no one size fits all. So it is how creative you are. So let's reduce the edge of this particular rectangle. So let's do Control 1 to format this chart. So let's look at this fill. Let's say I want this particular box to be color white. I'll just click on color white here. So if I should click out, you can see we have a black line. Then if I click on this line, then I click on no line. So if I should click out, you can see we can't differentiate between the white space and the box because the white line and the border line has been removed, or there is no color to the border line. So this is my box. So let's look for a beautiful color. So I have this blue color here, which is very, very beautiful, I guess. Yeah, it looks very beautiful. So I'll be using that. Okay, also let's do some other things. Shape. Yeah. So you want to reduce the, so it's not compulsory you use you use the color combination I'm using. One thing is sure, you must use a color that have a sharp contrast. So what color will, to use a good color, you would think that you must think that, okay, what color will go better, or what color will be more visible when you combine it with deep blue. In this case, I'm using a deep blue. So let's look at this. So I'm trying to set it very well, just to give it that professional touch or professional look. So let's extend it a little bit. Okay. Okay, so let's do Control 1. By now we should know the significance of this no line. So we want to look at this color. Which color would go better with this particular dashboard? So we look at, I think a gray should go. Yeah, gray should, I think this go better. So let's use gray. You can see the contrast is very high and it's giving it a professional look already. So let's look at this shape. Should we use this normal one? Okay. There's no limit to what you can do. So there's no limits. The only limit only exists in your mind. So let's try to, this for our KPI. So Control D for double. I just want to have, because this is a report. This is not actually a dashboard. This is a report. So who can tell me, or what is the difference between dashboard and a report? A dashboard is just a page visualization, while report is more than a page visualization. So we have this is our first page. So we also have a second page. So we have something like this. So we want the KPI to be very, very small, as low as 3. So let me do something like this, Control 1, no line. Then this one should be this video that you have been using. So I can just delete this one, delete this one. So let's do double. Let's double this. Let me cancel this. Let's double this. Let's double it. So to align this better, so you just want to arrange the first and the last very well. Let's try to shift it a little bit like this. So you just want to hold on to your control key. Hold on to your control key. Click on this. Click on all the 3 boxes. Go to your shape format here. click on align. What are we trying to do? We are trying to give them equal space. If you look at this particular stuff now, they did not have equal space between these boxes. So you click on this align, click on distribute horizontally, and now you can see all of them have equal space, but then they are not sitting on the same straight line. So you can do something like align at the top. By now everything is sitting on the straight line actually. So now let's double this onto D. So now I want to make our box, our visualization box. So let's do Control D. I don't know why. So you can see we have a lot of empty space. So I will delete this, delete this. So I already know that I need to increase the width of this a little bit because I want 3 boxes actually to be on that row. So I'll do Control D now. Okay, almost there. We are almost there. We are almost there. So let's try to increase it a little bit. Control D. Okay, this is manageable. So we'll go with this. Okay, this is good. Just that I want it a little bit. So permit me. Okay. Okay, we can just hold on to our control key and click on all of this. We already know what to do. Go to our shape format, click on align, distribute horizontally, align at the top. So you can see all of them are looking sharp and professional now. Now let's do Control D again. So now this is moving downwards. Oh, okay, there's a lot of white spaces here. So we want to correct that by increasing the width or the height of this particular column. So let's delete this. There's a lot of trial and error. Okay, this is better. This is good. Okay, so I'll try to increase this. But okay. So we already have, you can see we have beautiful looking wireframe already, but we are not done. We are not done. What we have to do is we have to do what we did the other time. Control, hold on to your control key, then click on the 3 boxes, then go to your shape format, align, distribute horizontally, align at the top. So you can see everything is aligned, everything looks sharp, but we are not done because this is a full dynamic dashboard. We are using a button, and you ask me, okay, how will a button looks like? So just look at, let's just continue with this particular picture. So what shape can we use? We should use something like this. So let's reduce the curviness of this or the sharpness of this um, of the arrow here. So I love this. So let's do Control 1. So if I click on row 9, you should know the importance by now. Then we should have something like this. Okay, so I can do Control D. Okay, so then You can see we already have um, we have a full dynamic one, a full dynamic dashboard already. So now let's look at what's the wireframe, how the what the let's look at the wireframe. And also I think I saw a shape I actually like, and I'll be using that for my logo. What's the shape? Um, sorry, permit me, give me a minute. Okay, this shape. I think I love this shape. Okay, so 1. So we can see we already have a good looking dashboard, which is very, very beautiful. And you can see this is more dynamic than what we have seen before. Um, yeah, this is very good. So because this is a report, without further ado, this is a report. So we will uh, this is our analysis. This is supposed to be visualization. So I'll do dashboard 1. This is dashboard 1. So I will right click on this, then you can see something like copy, move or copy. So we are trying to move this particular page. We are trying to copy it, sorry. We click on this dashboard 1, then create the copy, then click on OK. So if you actually look at this dashboard 1, we can see we have our dashboard here. Then we have our dashboard 1 or 2. We have our dashboard here. So I can just change this one to, I can change the name of this one to dashboard 2. So now this is a report. Why is it a report? Because this we have dashboard 1, we have dashboard 2, we have two visualization. That makes it what a report. So I can just left click, then drag this one here. Okay, you can see. So we have dashboard 1 and dashboard 2. So everything is now looking so good. So we started from cleaning and getting the data to analysis of data. We move on to analysis of getting the data to transformation of data, move on to analysis of data, then now we are doing visualization. But this visualization is not just the one we have been doing, it's not like the one we have been doing in the past. This is a report. So we have dashboard 1 and dashboard 2. So we have two dashboards. We are trying to create our visual now. So let's continue. So let's make let's continue. Let's continue from where we start. So the first thing is we want to make a a visual out of this. So because it's a what do you call it? This is a I'm sorry. This is a categorical data set. Okay, that's the English I'm looking for. So this is a categorical data set. So it is either you represent this with a column chart or you represent it with a bar chart. So you click on this, then click on insert, click on charts, and then I want a column chart. I actually want a bar chart. So let's click on bar chart and click on OK. So we have our bar chart like this. Why is it like this? So we can just right click on any of these cell, the numerical data sets, then you click on this sort, then sort largest to smallest. You can see now we have Ethiopia to India. This is developing country. Um okay. Okay, there's actually um there's a problem now. I'm looking at something. Okay, let's sort it from smallest to largest. Okay. Remember, we are trying to look at food poisoning case, so it is better we sort it from the smallest to the largest. Why? That should be the first question that should come to our mind. Now, UK is the least country that has food poisoning case. So it's supposed to be the first one that we see, because Japan, even though Japan is part of the developed country and has a lesser case of food poisoning, but when we are ranking developed case, Japan is one of the country, or is the country that experience the most food poisoning case in their country. So um it has to be curtailed. So we would put a stop, or we would put an end to this particular food poisoning. So this is how we will be. We'll just press on your Control X, then go to your dashboard, click on your box, Control V. So now let's try to format this. The first thing is, can I click on this button, hide all feed button from charts, click on this grid lines, just that all of those things that are not useful for the chart, click on this total, delete it. What else? There's a line here, there's a blue line here, Control 1. We don't want any line there, so you want to go to your paint, no line. So what else? Okay, it's looking good now. Um, okay, it's looking good. So let's try to do something like this. UK, these bars, I can just click on these bars. So you will look at, we have a blue background. Which color will make it more, will show these bars better? Obviously, it will be white or something very flashy. So you go to your color and click on, let's look at this white. How is it? Yeah, it's good. Why are we not seeing the effect? So we want to click on this box and click on no line, no fill. So we can remove that. So you can see we have our stuff. We can see our stuff better now. So we want to click on this x-axis, delete it, then we can resize our bars to what we have before. So now remember, UK still has the least recorded case. Netherlands, Canada, Japan, they have higher case of food poisoning. So you want to double click on Netherlands and give it a shade of gray, a deeper shade of gray. So they actually know that, okay, there is something going wrong with Netherlands. So this gray is too deep. So I want something like this. For Canada, I want almost the same thing, but with 5% transparency. Then Japan, I want the same with 7% transparency. Now you will look at, why are we doing something like this? Just that you are calling the attention of the shareholder that, okay, even though these are developed country, they do not have a lot of food poisoning case. But in this developed country also, Netherlands, okay, Australia is almost the same as Netherlands. So let's do the justice. Let's do a due justice for Australia also. Give it this shape. So you can see, so Australia, Netherlands, Canada, and Japan still need to further reduce the food poisoning cases happening in their country. So I can just click on this label, go to my label, go to my home, then maybe increase it a little bit, then change the color. Let's give it something. It is too shouting like this. Is this not shouting anymore? So maybe I should reduce it. Let's increase it a little bit. Yeah, which is good. Okay. Okay. So now you ask me, what if we change this to developing country? So now let's look at what it will happen. So when we change this to developing country and click on OK, let's look at our dashboard. Can you see? Nothing crazy. But what we want to do here is that for Indian, we want to double click on Indian, because Indian, Uganda till Bangladesh, they record the highest cases of food poisoning. So we want to use a danger color so they will know that, okay, this is actually where urgent attention is required. So we click on no line, then the fill, we want something like a blood red. So the same for Uganda, we want red, but the red will not be as, no, let's just use the same red. Same thing here. So now, once this is changed to developed, you can see we have what has been done for our developed. For analysis, once it's changed, once you change it back to developing, you can see we have our developed. So this is a very, very dynamic dashboard. And here we are going to have a two parts. So I can change the title. Let's use, what was the analysis? Prevalence of food poisoning. So let's use prevalence. Prevalence of food poisoning. So you want to make, because if you click out now, you can barely see it. So you want to double click on it. Control A. I want to give it a flashy color. Then maybe bold it, increase the size. So you can see. Now this is good. This looks so good. This looks so amazing. So now we want to move on to the next chart. So which will be trends of food poisoning case. So because we are dealing with yearly trend, so we want to use line charts. When you are dealing with any trend that is dealing with time, you are supposed to use, or it is recommended that you use line charts. So let's use line charts. We have our line chart here. So let's do Control X, go to your dashboard one, click on the box that you want to put it on, then remove all the stuff that are not useful. Remove the grid lines, remove the numbers, remove the total, then right click on this hide all feed button on charts. So what else? There's a line here, Control 1, go to your fill, no line. So we want to click on this box also, then no line, no fill. So you can see we have our borderline, our chart now. So you can resize this one. So I think looking at this is for developed country. You can see it spiked in 2015. From 2015, it has reduced. It has drastically reduced the cases. The recorded case has drastically reduced in developed country. What if we change it to developing country? So now let's look at our dashboard. So you can see it's reduced. It's the recorded case declined in 2016, and then we have almost the same. Then in 2025, we have a sharp decline also. So probably there has been measure in place. So this 2.7, this 2.7. So it's not actually real. There has not been real change, honestly. Just like 200,000 reduction in recorded case, which is a lot, but then it's not enough. So okay, now let's just format this. So the first thing is you want to click on this label and make it a flashy color. Yeah, this is good. Then make it bold. Then this color, it has to be uniform. So you will do Control 1. What do we want? We want it to be sorry. So you have to smoothen the line. It makes it looks better. It makes it look better. So we also have what else can I do? Okay, the color. Okay, I think I need a marker. Also, okay, solid fill. I mean, you understand what I'm doing. A minute, please. And then, okay. So now let's give it a color. Click on the line. The color should be I'm sorry, I'm guessing I used white for this one, so which is why I'm trying to make the color uniform. So let me use white. So also I want to add a marker. Okay. Sorry, I forgot that for a minute. My marker. Click on this marker here. Marker option. I want it in build. Then I want the shape to look like something like this. So if I click off, can you see? So I want it to be a little bit bigger than this. So click on this fill button again, go to your marker, then click on this marker option, then size. Yeah, this is better. This is good. Okay, this is good. But this color is not it's too dark. So let's go and click on marker and give it a lighter color. Okay, this is better. So we want to do the same. Want to format it again when you click on develop, sorry. So almost the same thing. Go to your dashboard one. Okay, it has been formatted, which is good. Okay, so we can just so you can say yearly yearly food poisoning case. You can use a better headline than this. So you can see everything looks and makes sense so far. So let's continue. So we have our food poisoning. So this is more like the food poisoning. I will not be visualizing this. So let's move on to the deaths recorded. We have the income recorded, access to water. So let's do this. Let's do developed country here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are around 5. So um let's use column charts because it is a categorical data. You can decide to use your column charts. So you can just do Control X, go to your dashboard one, Control V. So you just do what we have been doing. Right click, hide or feed button in charts, click on the line, delete it, click on total, delete it. And there's this line here. control. Now you can see something when I use colon charts. Okay, maybe I should space it out. Okay, good. So control 1, remove the line by clicking on no line. Click on the box, no line, no fill. Right, click on this x-axis or y-axis, sorry, remove it. This box, this what do you call it? This bars, control 1. Okay, I'm already there. So now I want to give it a shade of gray, which you have been using. Okay, you have been using white for the bars actually. So I've been using whites for the bars. So remember, vegetables in developed country, vegetables and seafood are the major causes. Vegetables is actually the major cause in developed countries. So you want to uh, make it color red, just that they would know that okay, there is by washing vegetable better in developed country will reduce the amount, reduce the number of food poisoning case recorded in those countries. So for now, let's go and format for developing country. So you want to click on this developing country, check this off, click on OK. So go to your dashboard 1. So you can see vegetable as red already. So we want to make meat also. Let's give it red because a lot of people also consume meat. Okay. I hope this does not distort. Okay, let's go to let's change this to developed country. I want to check something. Okay, this is not supposed to be there. Okay, we'll stop that in a minute. Let's continue. So you can just say what is it? Sorry. Food poisoning. So Control A. Okay, let's continue. So for the last one I'll be using here will be this. So we'll be using almost the same thing. We'll be using a bar chart for this one also. So it's quite easy, but then it's technical. So let's use a bar chart. So Control X. So let's just remove everything that we don't need here. No line, no fill, no line. Then click on this. Go to home. Okay, I think we've just a. Okay. So then click on the bars. What color are we using? We have been using 1. So Salmonella and norovirus. We want to double click on Salmonella, then give that red. Norovirus, double click on that, give that red also. Yeah. So we can resize this, delete the x-axis here. Okay, we are not done though. So let's try to, okay, we're almost there. So for this control A, we can say, I think this, sorry, I'm trying to look at packaging. Okay. Okay. Um, so make it bold. So now you can actually add your data labels. So once you add your data labels, you can click on it, then click on inside end, then click on it, make it color white. So it will be a little bit visual. So for this one, you can see we have white already, white background already here. So I can click on this and make it color black, just that we can see what we are. As I said earlier, all we are after is just visibility of all our values. So they have white background. You cannot use white color again. So you have to use something, a sharp contrast. You have to use what's black. So which is the same thing. You can do the same for these people. So click on this plus button, click on data labels, click on the data labels, make it, okay, we still need to correct stuff there, but let's make it black first. Then click on the last option here, click on inside end. Okay, so the same for this, click on data labels. So click on the data labels, click on the last option, inside end. Okay, for the red, make them white. Okay, I want to actually increase the size of this. It looks okay. Okay. So we will continue from here. We'll continue in the second part, part two of this video. See you later.